everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rin. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Thank you for clicking on this video. Today let's draw Mira. In my last long form video we drew Rumi. I know how to speak English. Kind of. Depends on the day, to be honest. Anyway, we drew Rumi. And I had said I really wanted to draw Mira and Zoe as well, so this week we're drawing Mira. I had also talked in that video about wanting to work on how I'm drawing people, kind of push myself to draw them better, and learn to draw things that I had been kind of avoiding. And so a big thing that I had mentioned, and a big thing that I definitely had been avoiding, is drawing more dynamic poses, which is also something I really wanted to get better at anyway, despite the fact I was avoiding it. So I started out this, of course, with a sketch that took me forever to sketch this out because I am an overachiever and wanted to draw a really difficult pose, I guess. So I found some different references for dynamic poses, chose this one, tried my best to sketch it out. My pose definitely does not look exactly like the reference pose I had. I just could not get the anatomy to look right, and I ended up erasing the right side of her at one point and redrawing the entire right side almost because I just couldn't get the angle right and where the anatomy looked right still. And I almost didn't know whether or not to even paint this and post it because I felt like the anatomy was just really bad. But I think it's better than what I had been doing. It's a step in the right direction of making more dynamic poses, and I'm a lot happier with it once I finished it than I expected to be. I also had looked at a bunch of the concept art of Mira and was trying to see just how they drew her and how they drew her facial features and stuff, and wanted to really pull some inspiration from that to help make her look more accurate to the film. I feel like whenever I draw fan art, I don't do it very often anymore because I'm never satisfied with how it looks. I always feel like it never looks like the character I'm drawing fan art of, and then I'm disappointed, and so I don't do it a lot. So I think looking at the concept art and seeing how so many other artists have drawn her really helped me draw something that I feel like looks more accurate to the character and is a better piece of fan art, just to me personally. I also, when I was painting her, really wanted to kind of keep the same kind of not color scheme, but color this piece the same way I had colored Rumi's piece, with adding pops of purple and teal and pink throughout. So you can see here I'm starting to add some purple, and I added some teal as well and some pink. They don't really show up so much in these shots. Towards the end of the video you can see them a lot better, but I actually, outside of the struggle of getting this pose to look right, this painting was a lot of fun to do, or the sketching was a lot of fun to do. The painting was fun to do as well, except I noticed for some reason, I feel like the paint really wasn't spreading very well on this particular piece of paper. So I don't know if that was I was a little rusty because I went a week without painting, or if I just wasn't adding enough water. I don't know what happened there, but the sketching process actually was a lot more fun than I expected it to. I think because when you draw the same thing over and over and over and over again, sometimes that can get a little bit boring, but pushing yourself to learn something new, you end up having kind of a lot more fun. It reminds me of when I was younger and I would draw something that I didn't think I was capable of drawing, and then that really excited feeling you get afterwards where you're oh yeah, I figured out how to draw this and it came out better than what I was expecting it to, even if it wasn't perfect. I kind of had that experience drawing this a little bit. both Rumi and Mira also reminded me of, like, I don't know what that's called, but where they suggest that you only use like 3 colors per like a character design, just like not have a huge color palette. And when I was painting these, I really was thinking about how like Mira is like black and yellow, or is her outfit with, and then like her pink hair stands out so much because of the minimalistic amount of colors in her outfit, which just like made me think like good character design. I love animated films and looking at character design in general, and like video games, film, just people's OCs. I love to look at how people design characters, and by no means do you need to keep it like a small amount of colors to make a good character design. I just think it's so interesting to look at and see like how some people do a really small color palette and what pops out when the color palette is extremely limited, and then looking at what stands out in a character that has a ton of color in their design as well. I think it's super interesting to look at. Also, I decided to line this with colored pencils because my parents just got me really nice, like professional grade color pencils for my birthday, and I really wanted to use them, and I want to use them more. I'm sure you will see me using colored pencils a lot in the future art pieces because I'm so excited to be using these pencils. They're so nice, they're so creamy. I will try to link them in the description if I can. So I did line this with colored pencils. I really thought about lining it with ink like I did Rumi's, just to kind of keep it cohesive, and I was like, do I want them all to kind of blend? But to be honest, I like how Mira's page turned out so much better than I liked how I drew Rumi, that I was kind of like, I feel like Rumi can't, it doesn't, that page, that piece of art just doesn't look as good as this. So I feel like I almost should draw her for a third time and make her look even better than what the last piece of art I did of her was, because I just am unhappy with it compared to how Rumi turned out. I also tried to draw hands. I like half drew hands for this piece. There was kind of a drawing of a hand, but her left hand is like only see the back of it. So I didn't really have to draw that too much, but I was trying. I was like, I'm going to try to draw hands too. So just taking baby steps to get better, to not overwhelm myself with trying to do everything perfect right off the bat, because that tends to be my mentality. And when you do that, sometimes then it's like really disheartening when things don't turn out as good as you want them to, like how I felt originally about this sketch. But I just try to remind myself that everything doesn't have to turn out perfect right off to the bat. Like the fact that I'm even trying to get better is what's important. I didn't film it, but I did add glitter too to like her eyeshadow and her silver chain. And you can see it a little bit on her like spear. I don't know what her weapon is technically like called, but in my head it's a spear. But here you can see the glitter like on her shirt too, and on her tassels. So this is how it turned out. I'm super happy with how the spread overall turned out. I really like the colors and the composition. So if you are still watching, thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. I will see you in the next one. Remember to be kind and stay cozy.